Okay, so Jamie, following that serious topic with another very serious topic, we have fall TV imminent in our schedules. It's coming down the pike, and you and I were like, let's talk about fall TV.
We
And,
have to.
you know, in the show notes, we're like, we could do this, we could do this. And then you came in like a wrecking ball, and you were like, no, this is how we do it. We're going to do it like The Bachelor, and we're going to hand out roses. We're going to hand out red ones to the good shows. We're going to hand out black roses to the bad ones. And I think that's genius. I just wanted to get that on the record that was your brilliant idea.
That's very well. Let me tell you why I adore The Bachelor and I adore fall TV premiere. Like, to me, fall is about new notebooks and new pens and new TV. Like, because the dark night of summer is over.
Man, like, do you know how it's like a TV wasteland? I still don't understand why. I've been binge watching Louis. It's not a great show to binge watch. It's kind of real dry and hard. And like the last 2 weeks I found another show that I'll talk about from a recommendation. But like just looking at the schedule, now it's going to be like I don't have time to watch all these TV shows. Whereas before I was like, Wipeout? Sure, why not? I'll give Wipeout a shot here. I got nothing else going on. So yeah. It's a good place to be. It's a very good place to be.
It's a great place to be. I'm very excited.
So we're just going to, do you want to start with red roses or do you just want to start just going down the list?
Yeah, let's just start talking about the list. And just so that everybody knows, if you're not a TV fan, which I don't understand why you're listening to this podcast.
Right.
We love TV, but there are, I think 28 or 30, depending on what network you're literally looking at. I don't feel like you can count DirecTV as a network. But
no.
There are 28 new TV series set to premiere this fall. That does not count shows that will wait in the wings for mid-season, and we look forward to those as well. Research says that 75% of these shows will not make it past a first season. Most will not make it past 6 episodes. A lot of them will not make it past 6 episodes. So we're going to talk about shows, sadly, that some of us will never see and never hear of again, which will make me sad because I know a couple that I've picked as my favorites are probably not going to make it past maybe 3 or 4 episodes.
Right. Most are going to be hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
Just that's the math. Your taste specifically in TV is hot garbage. So I'm looking at you giving me one actual good TV show that you like that makes it. That's your baseline.
I feel like you're going to discover in this episode that you are the one who's going to pick trash and I am going to pick diamonds in the rough.
I'm not going to lie, Jamie. I've saw a lot of these and I was like, this sucks, but I like it. I mean, you know what? I might just be a sucker for trailers. I love trailers and you could sell me on anything in a trailer.
Well, and that as for the trailers, we are, for the listeners, because a lot of these you may not have heard of yet. You will, because they'll be all in front of you in every talk show. All these stars will be showing up and on the circuits of television for the next several weeks. But you can go to our YouTube channel at Popcast Pod, and we have a playlist of all the trailers of the shows that we're going to talk about today. So you can check out any trailer that you want to see. I do love a good trailer with a good narration and a good piece of music, but you cannot get past the actual content being crappy.
Do you recommend people listening to this section of the podcast while looking at YouTube and looking at these trailers? Would that be a good idea?
It would be a great idea. Like, you could pause us, watch the trailer, and then come back to our discussion about that show.
I mean, it's a really good idea.
I think that's an amazing idea.
So, yeah, like if you're not aware, just listen. We'll kind of give the broad strokes of it, and you can go back and check it out or just roll with it. Jamie, do you have a first red rose to hand out?
All right. So my first red rose goes to Grace Point, which is going to be on Fox. It's only going to be a 10-episode series, so it is a limited run. So I feel like I'm cheating just a smidge. But
you're cheating because it's formerly a British show.
I love you know.
It's a ripoff of that,
it's
basically.
Not a ripoff.
Yeah, it is. It's like scene by scene remake.
It stars the same guy.
That's such cheating.
No. David Tennant from Doctor Who and Anna Gunn from your beloved Breaking Bad are starring in this remake, and it's a mystery series about a town called Grace Point. And a crime happens there. It's a little boy is killed, and kind of the hoopla. It is a remake of Broadchurch, which aired on BBC, and Broadchurch was fantastic. Like, that's one of the few shows that I could not cheat and find on the internet for free. So I actually paid cash for it on iTunes.
Jeez,
I know that's how much I loved it.
Yeah,
it was beloved. So I'm counting that as my first red rose. It should do very well. Although I am sad that David Tennant has an American accent. I'm always sad when the Brits hide their accents.
Isn't there a part of you that think that's a little shady, though, to just be like, hey, you already did this, so come do it again for America?
No, that's not shady at all.
No.
David Tennant is precious.
Maybe he is, but like for the show, like find another dude. You can't do that?
You cannot find another dude.
What if Ricky Gervais came over and he was Michael Scott in The Office after being...
I would have loved that.
God, you're just like, you're like arguing...
I watched the British Office and think, I mean, Steve Carell did a bang-up job. He did. But Ricky Gervais he's The Office. He's the better.
Talking to you is like going to the zoo and like talking to one of those monkeys that just sits and throws its crap at the wall. Like you just, no matter what insight you bring to the table,
I'm throwing my crap at you.
It's just going to fling feces everywhere. My first red rose is Gotham. It's much ballyhooed. It's probably, would you agree, it's probably the most talked about TV show coming up this fall, new TV show?
Absolutely. So much so that Netflix just paid this week just paid a huge amount of money to have the rights to Gotham, and it hasn't even aired yet.
That's pretty significant. And even still, like I'm a little dicey on it because it does seem to have a little bit of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in it in terms of taking like a pre-existing story, bringing in mostly unknown actors and actresses outside of a couple, to incorporate those roles. I'm a little dicey on that. I know you're dicey on Jada Pinkett Smith just in general in life.
For everything.
I do like that Ryan Atwood from the OC, a.k.a. real life name Ben McKenzie, is in it, but you wouldn't know anything about that.
I do like Ben McKenzie. I do like him as an actor. Not in the OC. That wasn't like a good vehicle for him. But
I'm a big fan of Donald Logue as well. That dude, he's really good, but he's like never gotten the right show, and now he's going to be Ben McKenzie's partner in it. I'm a big fan. I'm really looking forward to it.
I think Gotham's going to do well because it's on. I think it's going to do well because it's on Fox. I think if it was on any other network, it wouldn't do well. I think because if it was on the CW, it wouldn't be soap opera enough. Mm-hmm. But if it was on ABC, they would ruin it.
Sure.
And so I feel like it's going to do well there. It's partnered with Sleepy Hollow, which has been a huge success for Fox. So I think those things combined, like I think it's going to do well. And because of the hype. Plus, Batman does not, I mean, for whatever reason, people, although he is a CMI, not an actual superhero, people love Batman. And people love origin stories. So it's going to do well.
Just gonna mark that, like, I don't agree with your assertion of Batman, but this is not the time or place of it to talk about it. Do you have another show you want to give Rose to?
I do. Okay. So my favorite trailer of all the trailers, because I thought it was so fantastic, was How to Get Away with Murder, which is the Viola Davis legal drama.
Such a Jamie Golden move. So
I know.
This is peak Jamie Golden right now, guys, so just enjoy it.
So listen carefully. Okay. So it is created by Shonda Rhimes, which was so funny when they were like, in the trailer, it's like creator of Grey's Anatomy and Scandal. And I was like, what about Private Practice? Do we just not talk about our stepchild Private Practice? But I will say Private Practice was awful and it was on the air 6 years. So first of all, it's going to succeed whether we like it or not. But I liked the concept of it, like that she's a professor, but she also has a law firm. So I like that ABC's being smart and Shonda Rhimes, which is let's have Viola Davis, who is you cannot argue with me that Viola Davis is fantastic.
Oh, she's great.
Like she's amazing. But then we're going to bring in young people because it's like, how do we get like that gives us our old group, but they don't buy stuff, so that's not going to help our advertisers. So how do we bring in young people? And it's like, well, we're going to put her in a college classroom and have law students coming up with how to get away with murder. Which I like.
In the trailer, she says she's going to teach you how to practice law. So it's not necessarily about getting away with murder. Look, this one, I watched it and I actually gave it a black rose. I did. Because it looks like it's everything that I saw. Like I read all the schedules coming out, and like little blurbs and everything. Everything led off with the next Shonda Rhimes project. It's like at a certain point, you're going to get diminishing returns. And at a certain point, if that's what you're leading with, it's not a great sign.
Well, right now it's a fantastic sign because if you look at all the shows that are premiering this fall, there is a significant amount that are strong women with issues.
Right. And that's a great, and we need that because for so long it's been white dude anti-hero stuff. But at a certain point, you run out of narratives to fit within that structure. And I think,
but it's a different narrative than Shonda Rhimes. It's not like she's just moving 6 degrees to the right. Like this is a whole different model. Like this is law. I get that there's the strong leading woman. There's the Meredith Grey. There's the Olivia Pope. And now there's Viola Davis's character. But that's what Shonda Rhimes, that's her wheelhouse. That's what she writes well. And people respond to it. And I think, thankfully, Scandal has ushered in a new model of, I want to see shows with leading women that are strong and smart. And
I'm enjoying your changing the conversation we're having into that. It must be that
I just want to point out that you are a guy and you hate women. That's what I want.
The 2 must watches on my schedule are Nashville and Scandal for a variety of reasons. Okay.
Mainly because you're making fun of them.
No. Well, a little bit.
A little bit.
Since I gave you one Black Rose already, I'll give you another one. This could be controversial. You ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
Mulaney.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Mulaney, tell the people listening what Mulaney is about.
It is from John Mulaney. I don't know if he ever head wrote for SNL, but he contributed for several years. He's an Emmy Award winning writer and comedian. You've seen him on Weekend Update a couple times doing bits, but it's him, Martin Short, Nassim Pedrad from SNL. The pilot actually has been, I think, floating around for over a year. NBC developed it but did not pick it up, which is why it's on Fox. But it's been greenlit, and I just find him a little irritating, I think, like sensory-wise. On the eyes, to the ears. I really find Martin Short irritating, like in a lot of ways. So it's a bad combo. It doesn't look like a good use of Nassim Pedrad, who I absolutely love. So it's just not a fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on this. I think it's a 3-camera, which is a relic. Like, we don't see those kind of comedies anymore. So I don't even know why we're trying to film those. Because they don't even fit in the landscape of TV anymore. And I just think he is trying to be modern day Seinfeld, and we don't even want that anymore.
No.
That's not even on our palate. Like, we don't even want that on the menu. Like, that's like the spaghetti and meatballs of an Italian restaurant. Like, that's not what I want. I want lasagna. I want eggplant parmesan. I don't want spaghetti with marinara.
You don't want the Olive Garden.
I don't want the Olive Garden.
This is the Olive Garden of TV shows. I think it's telling that NBC, who is kind of firmly in Lorne Michaels' grasp and his power structure, it's telling that they passed on it and it got kicked to Fox. It's not a great sign. So I'm not looking forward to that one.
No, I'm not either. So, but speaking of someone that I am hoping gets a lot of success, and another one of my red roses goes to Marry Me. Marry Me is going to be on NBC. It's a comedy. It's starring Casey Wilson from Happy Endings, and she was on SNL. I'm very hopeful for Casey Wilson. Like, I wrote in the notes below this, and it's about her it's a rom-com with her getting married to a guy and them actually not being a good fit. But, and I wrote in the notes, please work. Because I want Casey Wilson to have a vehicle that's successful, because I like her so much. And this was created by the people who created Happy Endings.
Yes.
So they obviously are a fan and partner with her. It's going to be following The Voice. So I feel like just by default, people who do not change the channel are going to linger with this. So my hope is that it's not just a red rose because I want it to succeed, but it will actually be a success.
It's the writer creator guy. I think his name's David Caspia. He is actually married to Casey Wilson.
That's right.
So, and Kim Marino, I'm a big fan of his work. I'm really looking forward to that show. If you watch the trailer, I think the trailer, the scene where it's a surprise engagement that's ruined. Is that the one you? It's just fantastic. It's got that Happy Endings vibe. The rapid fire dialogue just looks really good.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you 2 so we don't bog down. I like, and these could be controversial. Let me give you 3, actually.
Okay, sure.
Selfie.
Oh.
Like, I watched, like, the first 75% of that trailer, I was like, this is garbage. And then when I realized they were doing the My Fair Lady thing, I was like, okay, I'm kind of back in now. And I shouldn't be, and I don't want to like it, but I kind of do.
Listen, okay, so you can actually watch this episode already. It's on Hulu.
Oh, cool.
And so I watched the episode. I watched the whole 30 minutes. And it stars Karen Gillan, who was Amy Pond on Doctor Who. It stars John Shu, who was Sulu in the new Star Trek. He was on Sleepy Hollow. Both of them, he was Harold and Kumar. Like, I love both of them. But this was so painful.
Was it bad?
It was bad. Now, there were moments when, and it's based on kind of Karen Gillan plays this character who's pretty unlikable. She likes to take selfies. She has a lot of followers on Instagram, like 200,000, and she's trying to remarket herself. And yes, it is very much My Fair Lady. But, and the part I like, there's a couple lines, like she says, like, I just need to find a way to jiff my way through this. And I was like, yes. See, I said jiff just for you. So I liked that. And then, like, there's a montage where she distills some hashtags, and she's on the elevator with hipsters, and she's like, I'm so over Peter Pan collars, crossbody bags, top knots, nail art, chevron stripes, DIY. And I just thought, amen, sister. Amen. So I felt connected to it, but then...
There's a lot alienating in that way, but then there's a lot of like, oh, that's really funny. That's clever.
That's really funny. All the people who love Chevron are like going to be like, what? Wait, you're not putting me with Peter Pan college? Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. And so, like, there's parts of it that I love, but I thought, I love it because I'm so immersed in social media. My mother is not going to understand any part of this episode, and so she's not going to watch this, and this is on ABC, and you need my mom to watch this.
Sure.
Because she's going to be like, this is no Big Bang Theory. Like,
sure.
I'm not gonna...
Yeah, they're not even going for that CBS audience, evidently.
No. So I think it's one of my Black Roses.
Black Roses? Okay, yeah. Give me one of yours.
My Black Rose, my quintessential, well, not my quintessential, but one of my Black Roses goes to the show, and I'm mad about it, is Red Band Society.
Yeah.
Kevin Riley, who's the head of Fox, when he was at the upfronts and he was pushing it, he said, it's kind of like Glee. It's misfit kids with cancer. No. What part of Let's Build a Show around kids with cancer?
Yeah, and have it upbeat.
The only redeeming part is that Octavia Spencer plays a nurse on the show, and I love her so much, Academy Award winner from Alabama, so I'm biased. But I just kept thinking, the trailer is not in any way, like, you just go, everybody's going to die on the show.
It's a bad trailer. The only way it works is if, like, everything filters through her. But it seemed like through the trailer it was going to be a lot to the kids, like just the kids, you know, and everything. It needs to be something that flows through her so she can kind of enlighten situations.
I like that Fox still thinks it's the kids network when it is not.
No.
The CW is the kids network.
No. I'll give you some Black Roses. Mystery of Laura with Deborah Messing just looks terrible. Just looks so terrible. State of Affairs, Katherine Heigl, terrible.
Well, those are good comparisons because those are two shows about women who can't seem to get it together.
Right.
Like, that have issues, but they're supposed to be strong women and we're supposed to be impressed by them. But I feel like in those shows, like State of Affairs and The Mysteries of Laura, that both of those shows have to tell us all the reasons why these women are great.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just perceive it and go, these women are great. Like, you constantly have to have people going, you're amazing. It's the same with Madam Secretary with Téa Leoni.
Ooh.
Like, the whole time I think, in the trailer, they keep saying, you were the best analyst ever at the CIA. Like,
right. No one talks like that. That's called lazy exposition. And that means you're in the hands of a really bad writer. Yeah.
So all of those, even though Mysteries of Laura, you know, it's being produced by Greg Berlanti, who did Everwood, Arrow, Flash. So, like, I like him.
No.
I especially love Everwood. But this show, like, I can't tell even from the trailer, like, is it a comedy? Is it a drama?
It's like, yeah.
Is it a procedural? Like, I don't know what the show is. I don't like it.
It's bad. It's bad. What was the other one? A to Z. I'm not in on that one.
Well, A to Z is also a show that you can watch the pilot on NBC. If you go to NBC's website, you can watch the first episode. You know what? This is how I described it in my notes. A to Z, which stars Ben Feldman
from Mad
Men, Kristen Milioti, who was the mother in How I Met Your Mother.
Yep.
I described this show as, this is how I met, dated, broke up with the woman who could have been your mother, starring the mother. Like that.
Right.
Because the concept is that it's going to follow two leads. They date. you're going to follow their whole relationship, which you've already been told from the outset by Katie Seagal as narrator. The whole time I was like,
really?
Who's that? Yeah, it's Katie Seagal. That their relationship lasts 8 months, 3 weeks. So how many episodes is that? Is that 12? Is that 58?
That's really weird. Like it has a 500 Days of Summer combined with How I Met Your Mother vibe to it, but in not a good way. Like the trailer leads off with, he's a guy's guy. He likes sports and boobies and wink. Like I was like, all right, I don't know about this. Like she's a girl's girl. She likes shopping, nails, and pink thing. Like, okay, I'm out. I've got one more black rose to go over and then a couple more red roses before we end it up. So you go ahead and
all right,
fill in
so my
anything
black rose, my ultimate black rose, the primary of all, and it was the first one I gave out because it was the first trailer I watched, and I couldn't even finish the trailer. I hated it so much. And it's on ABC. It's Manhattan Love Story.
That's mine too. It's so bad.
It's so bad. Here's what I thought when I watched. Okay, so the concept for everybody listening is it is a premise of two annoying white people who have an internal dialogue, and you hear it the entire time. So they're having conversations out loud, but then you're hearing their internal conversation the entire episode.
Right. Which is interesting if you're dealing with like a very witty, informative internal dialogue. 'Cause it's voiceover essentially, and that's historically it's frowned upon because it lets you tell, not show. Like any good writer's goal is to show you so you understand things, not tell you. The voiceover historically tells you. So you could see how it works, but they don't use it in the right way at all.
No. And it doesn't have stars that anybody recognizes.
No, the babysitter from Crazy Stupid Love, and that's about it.
Yeah, and that's it. And then you're just like, and what's bad for this show? This will be the first show canceled. I promise. Like I'm calling it right now. It's the first show canceled of the season because it's airing after Selfie. So Selfie's bad.
Boy.
And it's not going to have any lead-in for Manhattan Love Story. It's ABC. ABC has a history of trying to do good comedy and then failing.
It's like literally it opens up with the dude internally telling himself about who he has slept with on the street, who he wants to sleep with and who he doesn't want to sleep with. Then it cuts to the girl and she's looking at purses. Like that's...
It's so cliche. I feel like the guys that wrote it, because it was guys, that they sat in a coffee shop and just like one day was like, y'all want to write a show? Let's just come up with something.
We should. We can't leave this place until we finish the whole thing.
I know. Who wants another croissant? Let's write. Like, it was horrible.
That one's really bad. That one is my... That one is my blackest black rose. I've got one. I don't know how to categorize it, but I'm gonna watch it because it looks like it could be a beautiful disaster. That's Galavant.
Galavant.
Did you watch this trailer?
I did not watch this trailer.
It's like a comedy musical drama set in like Renaissance times. It's from the writer of Crazy Stupid Love. Nothing suggests it's going to be good, but like it's going to go down in such a blaze of glory that I'm going to watch it.
What network is it on?
It is ABC, I believe.
ABC. Okay. Yikes. Okay, so my a couple of comments I want to make before I give my last one is my last no is I want to comment on Madam Secretary, as we mentioned. I watched that trailer. It was 5 minutes long. I felt like I watched the whole episode.
Right.
Because they give you the end of the first episode. So I was like, I'm good. Like, I'm set. Like, I get it. And I feel like Taya Leone, I don't like her. I don't know why.
She's real abrasive.
Yeah. And then a show that I wish would do well, but it will do well just because it's on CBS, is Stalker.
Yeah.
With Maggie Q and Dylan McDermott. I want to say, for the record, my first adult TV crush as an adult, so not Slater or Zach, was Dylan McDermott on The Practice.
Good for you.
Like
good for you for owning up to that on a public podcast.
He was fantastic. And then in this trailer, he's not aged a day.
No, man.
That show was almost 20 years ago.
Did you watch American Horror Story?
No, but I've heard he was fantastic.
Him and Connie Britton, man, there couldn't be less chemistry, but like it was still a good season.
Well, and he's not had a lot of success because he's had 3 failed shows in the last 5 years.
Like, I want to sit down with his agent and be like, you can't keep making this guy a corruptible douchebag. Like, you have to do something else. You're like, he can be more than that.
I know, because the practice, he was so much more than that. I will say about the show Utopia, which is a reality show on Fox.
Love it.
No.
Love that.
Not.
I'm such a sucker for that.
Oh my God. It's the next Survivor, but let's try to all merge our religions and our values into one space.
And that's fantastic. Like, it's not going to be good, but it's going to be watchable.
You know what's so funny? In the trailer, the voiceover is like, over 200 crew members and more than 3 acres of land. And I thought, 3 acres is not a lot of land.
Not a lot for a new society.
What is wrong with where are they making people work normally? It's so sad. 3 acres. I live on an acre.
Yeah.
Like a small TV show here.
Yeah.
I should do that. So, and then my last Black Rose goes to NCIS New Orleans on CBS.
No.
Now, here's the problem. It's going to be on for 300 episodes, like forever.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And it's starring one of my favorite people, which is Scott Bakula. Here are my 2 problems just in the trailer. Like, first of all, you're just trying to take Mark Harmon from NCIS and move him to New Orleans.
Like,
so
they've replicated it brilliantly. Good for them.
Brilliantly. So, and it's even following, by the way, it's following NCIS on the schedule. So, like, all the people who are going to be like, I'm still watching NCIS.
That's so smart. That's so smart. They'll look up and be like, let's just keep watching.
Which I would just like this too. But my 2 issues come with, it's set in New Orleans and a couple of the characters are Southern. So their Southern accents are tragic, which I know some of you listening right now are like, Jamie, your Southern accent is tragic. But do you know what the name of Scott Bakula's character is? You ready? It's Dwayne Cassius Pride.
That's not a real name.
Dwayne Cassius Pride. And then there's a line where they bring in, obviously, someone from the North, because that's what you do in a show like this. You have to have a character from the North that doesn't understand the South. And she's from the Great Lakes office. And at one point, some character goes something about tailgating. And she's like, I don't tailgate. I was just mad at the stereotypes. I was like, and you know what makes me madder? This show will make millions of dollars.
So much money. Like, stereotypes are troubling, but when they're like specifically in reference to you, they're even more troubling.
They're
and
so
like,
troubling.
The only one that like I really get victimized by is the Southern one, so I have strong feelings about it.
Sure.
My last ones, these are all red roses. Battle Creek, it's a Vince Gilligan project that had been tabled, but ever since Breaking Bad, they were like, sure, you want to make that? Okay, let's do that. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. Empire with Terrence Howard looks phenomenal. It's about an aging hip hop emperor, basically, who's dying and is trying to figure out how to hand off his empire to his sons. And then Fresh Off the Boat looks like a disaster, but I'm really interested in it. It looked really fun. Like, it made me laugh. And the one I'm probably most excited about is Blackish. With Anthony Anderson, Lawrence Fishburne. I'm into it. In the trailer, it's him outside of his house, and like there's a Hollywood tour, and like the white girl in the tour goes, and to your left you'll see the mythical black family, and like it seems like it's going to be clever as opposed to like being an all black cast that has no awareness to like the unique quality of that. It looks like it's going to kind of tackle that head on.
I feel like Blackish will be successful because it's going to follow Modern Family, which has no sign of slowing down.
I didn't know that.
And I do love Lawrence Fishburne as a grumpy grandpa.
Like, love that.
I'm very fired up about him being on TV. But I feel like Anthony Anderson is just not funny.
No, that dude's good. That dude is funny.
I don't think you're right.
But he's good because he was on The Shield. I watched him for 2 seasons on The Shield, and he was amazing dramatically. Like, he's talented. I think this show will show his range a little bit.
Do you think this show will make white people uncomfortable? But in a way that they'll keep coming back? Yeah,
I think in a way of like the same way like Modern Family with Cam and can't remember the other dude's name. With the gay couple. Like it speaks to some prejudice, but in a comfortable way.
Okay. I'm for that.
I'm hoping that's what this will do too.
I do want to give my secret what will likely be my Goldbergs of this season.
Oh boy.
You ready?
Sure.
And I'm not proud of this. Like, I'm very embarrassed by this. This is my nude photo stuck on my phone that has now been revealed to the world. And it is Jane the Virgin.
I didn't even see this. Who's in it?
Oh my gosh. Nobody's in it. Nobody's in it. It is a soap based on a telenovela. Okay. And it is about a woman impregnated by accidental artificial insemination.
Okay. Accidental artificial insemination. Sure.
Like, they switch up to people in the gynecology office.
Yeah.
And so she was supposed to just get a pap smear, and she's a virgin. And so, of course, her Hispanic family now thinks it's the second coming of Christ. And, like, there's just so many magical things about it. The trailer was really funny. And I don't know. Like, I feel like there's the part of my brain that loves the Goldbergs is really love the trailer of Jane the Virgin.
Okay.
But I feel like the CW only really does superheroes and vampires. So
it's on the CW.
It is on the CW.
That's a problem.
And so I feel like the CW doesn't know how to do something like this, so I don't think it's going to succeed. My last green roses. Are we doing that?
Yeah, I don't think those are
I'm just making things up now. I was trying to think. I want to give just a real award for somebody who I want to be on TV, but she has picked a bad vehicle, and that's Laurie Metcalf, who played Jackie on Roseanne. And I feel like everything she does, I love. She's on a CBS comedy called The McCarthys, which is about a gay son in Boston navigating his crazy family. And I just feel like it made me sad.
I saw the picture and the look of it. I was like, I just don't even want to understand what that's about. And
she's magical even in the trailer, but I thought this is such a bad. It's a bad vehicle for her. Okay. So I like her, but I don't think that she's gonna succeed. And I do just want to do a shout out to Patricia Arquette, who is leading up CSI Cyber, the new CSI. And I want to ask, what network executives want us to believe that any of the Arquettes know how to turn on a computer?
Oh no, I think they're so different looking that we assume they inherently understand computers and stuff. I think it swings the other way. Well, I think that's probably it for TV shows. Let us know which ones you're excited about. Facebook.com/the Popcast. And remember, all these trailers are on our YouTube channel. So go there, check them out, and you can follow along or see what we're talking about or tell us how wrong we are.